You saying the first black, the first female, this is what he's talking about. You woke idiots. Who cares if you the first black nothing? Are you capable or competent?
Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon. We're empowering drill sergeants to instill healthy fear in new recruits.
Why is he obsessed with fat?
Yeah, and fitness.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that was supposed to be an uplifting message for our military.
Maybe it's
I can't handle it. She said. Let's get to the ver, because I haven't had these cackling hens on here in a long time. And trust me, they get stupider and stupider every time they talk. And they really give women a bad name. My instinct said, when I saw this, my instincts was that this is why women shouldn't be in charge of nothing. But then God told me, Brandon, don't do that. It's just these women shouldn't be in charge of nothing. Because when you listen to what they said, and I'm rubbing my chest so my blood pressure go down. When you listen to what they said, go ahead and take a seat, because it's about to make you mad. But before we listen to them, let's play Pete Hegseth's speech first. Because they're responding to Pete Hegseth, in my personal opinion, giving the appropriate speech that we need to hear in this country. And you're going to see these menopause having, 1 foot in the grave having, I ain't got no man, I don't need no man having women on the stage washed up. They washed. Not just physically, but mentally. Because there's a couple of regular ones on there, but they're mentally washed. Some of the other ones are physically washed up. But anyway, enough of bashing these women. Every single day, women find out that they're unexpectedly pregnant. Many are filled with fear, and they feel like they just can't do it. But you can be the difference. You can transform that fear and uncertainty into real hope. For just $50, you can provide a bundle of hope, a package of practical support and encouragement that reminds a woman that she is not alone and that her baby is deeply valued. Each bundle of hope gives a mother courage, a baby protection, and a family a chance to thrive. And when you give, you're not just making a donation, you're delivering hope. Every single dollar goes directly to helping women in unplanned pregnancies choose life and find strength for the journey ahead. Will you join us in delivering 100 bundles of hope to women and their preborn babies this month? Together, we can deliver hope, one bundle of hope at a time. All you got to do is go to SaveTheStorks.com/Tatum and give today. Listen to what Pete Hegseth said as they put all the Joint Chiefs of Staff together, and they gave them probably one of the most important pivotal messages in American history for our military. Roll the clip.
This speech today, as I drink my coffee, this speech today is about people, and it's about culture. The topic today is about the nature of ourselves. Because no plan, no program, no reform, no formation will ultimately succeed unless we have the right people and the right culture at the War Department. If I've learned one core lesson in my 8 months in this job, it's that personnel is policy. Personnel is policy. The best way to take care of troops is to give them good leaders committed to the warfighting culture of the department. Not perfect leaders, good leaders. Competent, qualified, professional, agile, aggressive, innovative, risk-taking, apolitical, faithful to their oath and to the Constitution. Eugene Sledge, in his World War II memoir, wrote, quote, "War is brutish, inglorious, and a terrible waste. Combat leaves an indelible mark on those who are forced to endure it. The only redeeming factors are my comrades' incredible bravery and their devotion to each other. In combat, there are thousands of variables, as I learned in Iraq and Afghanistan, and as so many of you did in so many more places. Leaders can only control about 3 of them. You control how well you're trained, mostly how well you're equipped, and the last variable is how well you lead. After that, you're on your own. Our warfighters are entitled to be led by the best and most capable leaders. That is who we need you all to be. Even then, in combat, even if you do everything right, you may still lose people because the enemy always gets a vote. We have a sacred duty to ensure that our warriors are led by the most capable and qualified combat leaders. This is one thing you and I can control. And we owe it to the force to deliver it. For too long, We have simply not done that. The military has been forced by foolish and reckless politicians to focus on the wrong things. In many ways, this speech is about fixing decades of decay. Some of it obvious, some of it hidden. Or as the chairman has put it, we are clearing out the debris, removing the distractions, clearing the way for leaders to be leaders. You might say we're ending the war on warriors. I heard someone wrote a book about that. For too long, we've promoted too many uniformed leaders for the wrong reasons, based on their race, based on gender quotas, based on historic so-called firsts. We've pretended that combat arms and non-combat arms are the same thing. We've weeded out so-called toxic leaders under the guise of double-blind psychology assessments, promoting risk-averse, go-along-to-get-along conformists instead. You name it, the department did it. Foolish and reckless political leaders set the wrong compass heading, and we lost our way. We became the woke department.
So he goes on, and to me, it sounds like an incredible speech so far, but then he goes on to challenge them. And this is something that I felt, let's go to the View real quick, but this is something I felt when I was a cop too. Like, it's kind of embarrassing to be a fat cop. And it's not just embarrassing to the public because you're not representing the uniform and you're not representing the agency right, but other officers. I remember we had a fat dude on our department. They get into a foot chase. They jumped the fence with the athletic one jumped the fence with the criminal and was in a fight. The fat one couldn't get over the fence. Bro, I'm fighting this guy by myself. And it wasn't me. It was another guy who told his story to me. But I'm fighting on the side of the fence and homeboy can't even jump the fence. It's not just looks. It's readiness. It's competence. When you have a police officer come to your house or somebody in the military that's squared away, they're in shape, you feel a lot more confident, better about who they are as a person too. And Pete Hegseth, he addressed that. And I think it's been far too long with this wussification of military and war. But look at these hyenas and listen what these women gonna say about that. I think one of them he said they were fat. Roll the clip.
Right before we went on the air, the newly renamed Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, spoke to U.S. military leaders from around the world to lay out his very retro vision for our armed forces. Watch.
This administration has done a great deal from day one to remove the social justice, politically correct, and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department. We are done with that. It's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon. We're empowering drill sergeants to instill healthy fear in new recruits. Yes, they can shark attack, they can toss bunks, they can swear, and yes, they can put their hands on recruits.
Hold on. Let her play it. Let it play.
Why is he obsessed with fat?
Yeah, and fitness and...
Anyway, this was just the opening.
Stop. I can't handle it. She said, why is he obsessed with fat and fitness? This the military. What you mean obsessed with fitness? These women can't be serious, bro. Why is he so upset with fitness? It's the military, fool. These are combat soldiers. These are leaders who've been in combat, who are an example. What do you mean? Why are you worried about fitness?
Because Trump took the stage after he did, and I think he's still talking right now. But take a look.
If you want to do anything you want, you can do anything you want. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave the room. Of course, there goes your rank, there goes your future. We went, in a way, woke. That was probably the first sign of wokeness. And we changed it to defense instead of war. And I said, what do you think? How do you think if we changed it back? Would that be a nice idea? I thought it would be met with fury on the left, but they're sort of giving up, I must be honest with you. They've had it. They've had it with Trump. You don't have to be that good with nuclear. You could have 1/20th what you have now and still do the damage. You can't let people throw around that word. I call it the N word. There are two N words, and you can't use either of them.
So how do you think the highest-ranking U.S. military officials feel about taking orders from a reality star and a former talk show host?
Oh,
I mean,
they didn't say nothing about a guy getting a BJ in the White House, cheating on his wife. They took orders from Clinton. What you want to say now? And Kamala Harris, she on her knees. That's how she got where she was at. She went horizontal to go vertical in her career. Y'all don't say nothing about these half-wit people who out here doing thuggery. How about Martin Luther King? He was doing orgies in his personal life. But when it comes to Trump, you got to be all weird with him. He's the commander-in-chief. I don't care what you think about him. Roll the clip.
I could do it, according to this.
Yeah, I'm actually really befuddled by why he did that. The optics were terrible, meaning all of our top military brass are all in one place, and we spent $6 million to get them there. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. It also didn't make a lot of sense to me that he was saying that he was going to toughen physical standards and review the anti-hazing policy by sort of implementing a hazing policy. And then also he said he was going to return to the highest male standard for combat positions because the troops were fat.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that was supposed to be an uplifting message for our military.
Maybe he's referring to Colonel Sanders.
It was really a bizarre thing. He started talking about woke DEI policies. By the way, there are no gender quotas in the military. By the way, he fired more than a dozen military leaders, many of them people of color and women. He fired the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, General Charles Brown Jr., who is African-American. Yeah. He fired the first woman to command the Navy, Admiral Lisa Franchetti.
This is exactly what he's talking about. You saying the first black, the first female, this is what he's talking about. You woke idiots. Who cares if you're the first black nothing? Are you capable or competent? He fired the so-and-so. It's a different administration. When a new administration come in, they always get rid of some of the people that are in place because they don't match with the philosophy that they're pushing. There is no female quota. Anybody in the military that's watching this, come on, in the comment section. If you served in the military, are you a police officer? Is there female quotas? They don't have to say it. Do you know that they're trying to actively recruit women that shouldn't even be in the military? You see them everywhere. They can't pass PT. They fat, sloppy, they weak. Now, it's men that's weak too. But I'm saying they do this with women all the time. Women in law enforcement. Women shouldn't even be in law enforcement. They putting them in there. I'm not saying no women should, but I'm saying there's women that are not qualified that they force in there because they want female representation. Come on, somebody be honest with me. You served, you know I ain't lying.
I don't understand the sort of hypocrisy, firing these people, having all these people meet together and then denigrating them.
But did you look at it? They're looking at him like he has two heads.
Well, they didn't applaud the beginning of that clip you just saw. The president is President Trump said, if you want to applaud, you applaud. If you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave the room. Of course, and then you heard the rest. There goes your rank in your future.
But by the way, every one of these men and women in this room
let's calculate that. There goes your rank in your future. Donald Trump isn't saying there go your rank in your future, meaning that if you disagree with me, you'll lose him. No, it's if you quit, you walk out of this room, that means you quit the military. We're on one objective. If you're not on board with this, then you can leave. But leaving meaning you quit. And quit is your rank and your future is gone. That's fair.
The entire time they've been in service, that it is apolitical. You're not right, left.
Hold
you're
on.
not Republican.
She got her lips done. I can see her lips. Women can't do nothing. Not all women. Let me say, y'all women can't. Y'all on TV. She got her lips all plumped up, trying to look cute. Can your brain match what you trying to do on the outside? I know she probably got a nose thing. She look different, don't she, Nick? She look different. Her lips look bigger. She done got Botox or filler. All right, let's just go on. Roll the clip.
Democrat. They don't show their politics because what you're doing on the battlefield is above politics. So they're not going to applaud. They're not going to cheer. They're not going to boo. They're going to show up and listen to the commander-in-chief. But to Sarah's point, I've literally sat in the VTC, video conference room in the Pentagon. We could have done this a lot easier and a lot cheaper and talked to people all around the world.
Come on. What was the reason for it?
I think it's supposed to be a show of strength for Hegseth.
Maybe it's a distraction from, the Epstein files.
What are the reasons for a leader to have people come and he present an important message in person? What is the reason for it? That's why y'all not leaders. That's why none of y'all can lead anything. If you don't understand the value of you giving a real, serious message to all the Joint Chiefs of Staff, right? Is that what it is? You're giving a message to them. Them being in person mean more than doing it on a Zoom call. But if you're not a leader, you wouldn't know that. Hamburger heifers. I can't stand these women. And they really put their foot in their mouth every time they talk.